Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. And thank you for joining me in this journey where we explore the Bible chapter by chapter. Today, we're going to be speaking about the Tower of Babel, another well known story. And if you like these videos and you like the material, feel free to share it with your friends and if you press the subscribe button, and if you subscribe, you'll be notified every time I bring out a new video, which I'm gonna try and do every week. But if I get more time, I'll do it like more than once a week. So this is Genesis chapter 10. It's just one really, really long, worthless genealogy, that nobody really even cares about. If you want, you can go and read this in your own time, in your own Bible. Who cares if Arphaxad begat Salah and Salah begat Eber, and it's basically just this guy was the dad of 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 this guy. It's really boring. And then it just says at the end, these are the families of the sons of Noah and their generations. And like, who cares, So let's get to the interesting stuff here in chapter 11. And it says, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said to one another, Go, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime they had for mortar. And they said, Go, let us build us a city, and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they all have one language, and they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. The Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. And the generations of Shem was 100 years old, and he begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood. And Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500 years, and he begat sons and daughters. Okay, and here it just goes back into another long, boring genealogy. And then at the end, the reason basically for this genealogy is to justify the introduction of Abraham, which is the next character that we'll be looking at in the following videos. So this is just kind of like, these genealogies, they're just kind of like a way to introduce the next people to the stage, here's Abraham and Nahor took them wives, and Abraham's wife was Sarah, and the name of Nahor's wife was Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, the father of Ishka. But Sarah was barren, she had no child. And Terah took Abraham his son, and Lot his son, Haran his son's son, and Sarai his daughter-in-law, and Abraham's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go to the land of Canaan. And they came unto Haran and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. Okay, so this is basically the story of the Tower of Babel, And the main problem that I have with this story is how absurd it is. if we just look at modern technology that we have today, you know, it doesn't take like a rocket scientist and a genius to figure out that there's a lot of things out there in space, but there's no this so-called God, this Jehovah. I mean, he's not up there. And so, I mean, science and physical evidence can tell us that what we just read here is really, it's just one big pile of bullshit, you know. I can guarantee you now that if they did build a tower, there was no God that was going to stop them and confound their language. Because, I mean, why? Why do that just so that more than 2,000 years later, 2,000 to 8,000 years later, because it was 4,000 years before Jesus and 2,000 years after Jesus, according to the biblical timeline. So basically, like 8,000 years later, now people are allowed to go into space. Why? Was it because God left or what? He's not there anymore, so he doesn't care or what? It doesn't make sense. It's completely the most absurd, the most stupid, retarded thing I've ever read in my life. Besides that, why is this God so threatened? By humanity doing something amazing, humanity developing a civilization and all of this. Why, if this God is so powerful, why does he feel so threatened by these people building a tower and going to see him? Doesn't this God want an actual relationship with these people and be, isn't this why Jesus, allegedly died, so that people can be reunited with God? So, maybe this God is really, really ugly. Maybe this God, let me check something here. Maybe this God, maybe this God is nothing like a human being. I mean, if we have to accept that this story is real, maybe this God has absolutely nothing in common with humanity, and that's why he's so scared. That's why he's so scared that people will see him. I mean, what does he have to hide? I can guarantee now, because in Genesis, earlier in Genesis, before the flood, I think it was chapter 3, chapter 4, around there, it said that God said that he's not going to show his face to humans anymore. So not one person here who was building this tower has ever seen God, So why this invisible God that no one can see? What does he have to hide? Could it be that this God has absolutely nothing in common with humanity? Maybe he's some ugly, evil, I don't know. So this is really, there's not much else I can say about this, except that it's completely absurd and it makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, from a scientific point of view or from a factual point of view. Why the story? And then he says, let us go down. So who's he speaking to there? Who's he speaking? Who's this us? Was there more than one of these gods, or was he speaking to the angels? And why the hell does he feel so threatened by? I mean, this just imagine this omnipotent, omniscient, all-powerful creator of the universe is threatened by some people, mortal human beings building a tower. And what would they have discovered by building this tower? Space. That's so what's wrong with that? They would have discovered space. So, and then they would probably have been like, oh well, there's nothing up here. So sorry guys, waste of time. We built this giant tower for nothing. No one up here, nothing up here. And then this God feels threatened by that, so threatened that he has to physically come down to earth and, confuse everyone. I don't understand, this. And usually what I've found in my life is like, if there is, if you read something or someone tells you something, and when it raises questions, and every time you try and make sense of it, it's just more questions and more questions because it doesn't make sense. That means that this thing is most probably a lie, because something that is a fact, something that is the truth, it speaks for itself. The sky is blue, the grass is green. We know why the grass is green, because of photosynthesis and science and stuff. So, it speaks for itself. We don't have 1,000 endless questions trying to make sense of this one thing. But if I told you, hey, look, the grass is blue and the sky is green, you're going to start asking questions. But why does the grass look green to my eyes even though it's blue? This doesn't make sense. And then that raises another question and another question and another question. It's the same thing with this Bible, it's just completely, it's an insult to every intelligent human being that's ever walked on the earth. And then they tell you that, no, just believe and have faith. If you're going to ask people about this, they'll just say, no, don't worry about it. Just believe and have faith, And no, sorry, I'm not going to just believe and have faith, I'll have faith in something that is valid. I'll have faith in something that has, withstood the test of truth. Yes, that I'll have faith in. Something that's been scientifically tried and proved. But why? You can't just have faith in everything. You can't. You have to doubt. So, yeah, that is just one of the lamest excuses I've ever heard in my life to get out of, or to put off the responsibility of having to answer for this absurdity. To tell someone, yeah, just believe and have faith. That is totally, it's fucked up. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. And, I'm going to be uploading many videos, because we're going to go through the entire Bible. And until we get to the book of Revelations, which is one of the most interesting books, also one of the most absurd ones. But we're going to go straight through the Bible. And so yeah, stick with me through this journey. And I'll see you next time for another video. Thank you very much.